Alright, so it's about time we start doing something with CSS. Okay, so I'm on the desktop right now. Wherever you are, I want you also to follow me along. Okay, so let's create a new folder and call it website. Very good. So I want you to right click on your folder and open it with Visual Studio Code. Open with code. In case you don't know how to open the project with Visual Studio Code, you are confused, I think I covered that one in our HTML course, so you can always go back to the HTML playlist and find your way out there. I'll link that one too in the description below so you can find it. Alright, so first of all, I will create my index.html file. Okay, and let's quickly generate some templates. You hold shift and then one exclamation mark will appear, and then you press enter on the keyboard and you have it. Okay, so let me make things let me increase the font so that it can be visible for you to see them very well. All right, very good. Okay, so we are coming to begin with a P. So a P with the contents. I am the first paragraph. This is I am the first paragraph. Okay, now let us go and see this in action. Let us view it from the browser. Very good. This is what we have. I am the first paragraph. Let's go back to the code. In future, we will be using live server to auto load our project. Okay, but for now, let's do it this way. Now, for us to be able to give CSS to our HTML document, we have three ways. The first one, we call it inline CSS, and then we have other one to call the external CSS, and the last one is internal CSS. Some people also call it embedded CSS. Okay, whichever way you call it, we are going to see all of them in action. We are going to see how they all works, and you get to choose your best, your best method, or the one that you want to go with. Okay, so we are first on the list. We are going to focus. We are going to look at the inline CSS. Okay, so the inline CSS, this is how it works. It's just like the HTML attributes that we've been given. Okay, we have an attribute like a class and then an ID. Okay, so the same way we give class and ID attribute, that is the same way we also give an attribute called style. Okay, and in that attribute we get to define the code that we want to put in. So I'll come and say style is equals to, I want this to have a color of red. Okay, so color, then my colon, then red, the value, then I terminate it with a semicolon. Okay, let me go to the browser and refresh. Very good. We now see that the color has now changed from red, from black, that was the default, to the red. Okay, let's try something new. Let me also change it from red to blue. Okay, blue. All right, so it has already been saved by default. That's how I've configured it. Let's refresh. Good. Okay, so we see how we can change or do a lot of stuff with CSS inline. Okay, so this is what we call the inline CSS. We put the styling in our HTML. Let's say in our HTML, we embed it. Okay, we put it inside the tag. So this is what you are seeing in action. We can as well bring a lot or even many attributes, many styles inside this particular thing that you are seeing here. We can of course terminate it like this. We have we've introduced this one. This is a full stop in programming. Okay, the semicolon. So we can as well go ahead and declare another style. Okay, another style. Let me say that I want this to have a background of yellow. Okay, a background of yellow. So I simply say background. Okay, background. And background has a lot of properties you can see here, but for now don't look at them. Okay, just forget about them. We will look at them in the future coming videos, but for now let's look at the background. And background is the same as background color. Okay, let's say background color is equal to yellow like this. Okay, yellow. I open the browser and I refresh. Very good. Now we see that our element, which was having no background, now has a background yellow. Okay, so we can perfectly, or we can see it in action, that our styling is working correctly. Okay, so I'll do something here. I will remove it. Okay, let me comment this one out. Okay, let me comment this one out. Let me comment this one out. Let me comment this one. Very good. And let's do this is the inline. Okay, this one here is the inline CSS. We are going to look at the other type of CSS, which is the internal or the embedded CSS. Okay, so I think it will make a lot of sense for me to bring a comment like internal CSS. Okay, internal CSS. As for this one, you already know is the inline. Okay, so you can put the comment here yourself. I come here again, my P, and then I give it the content of I am the first paragraph. It doesn't matter the content, you can put whatever you want in. That's what I like. Okay, that is why you are seeing it that way. So this is how the internal CSS works. We will come to the head section of the HTML documents. Okay, and when we come here, we are going to declare another tag called style. Okay, style tag. Okay, and inside this style, this is where we are going to put all the CSS code that we want to have in our HTML document. So at the moment we have only one element called P. Okay, so you will select we will select the element P. That is the element we want to give the style to. So P. Okay, P is selected. Then we will bring our curly braces, indicating that whatever that will come inside here, inside the opening and closing curly braces, is a block of code that belongs to the selector, which is what? The P. All right. So that's how it is. Let's give it the color of blue. Very good. And then also the background color of yellow, the same way we did with this one. Okay, let's go to the browser, let's refresh. When we refresh, it will stay the same. Okay, but look at something. The moment I delete this one and we go back and we refresh, you see this is how the content look. This is how the content look like. The content is just a plain text, a text with no styling. It's just I am the first paragraph. Okay, that's what you are seeing here. But the moment we bring our style and then the P, selecting this particular P element, okay, and our P with a set of attributes, characteristics, set of properties, color, and then background, we now go back to the browser and refresh, and we see things in action. Okay, so this is the type 2 of the CSS. This is called the internal CSS. Some also like to call it the embedded CSS. Whichever way that you call it is totally correct. Okay, yes. So that's all about the internal CSS. Okay, let's try something out, something fancy. You can be playing around. You see, when learning CSS or learning any code, don't get bored doing things over and over again. Go over them. try and do them. When you make mistakes, I say always that mistakes are our best friends. They help us, put us on the right path, they direct us. Okay, so don't be afraid of them. When you make any mistake, have the confidence, okay, have the flexibility of learning from your errors so that you become perfect in the near future. So I'm going to give this a color of white. Okay, white is no, let's give it brown instead. Let's give it brown instead. So refresh, and we see that now the color is brown. Okay, so you can do whatever that you want with your styling. You can do whatever that you want with your styling. Change the background, change the color, everything, and you see them working. Okay, now this is the part 2, or this is the type 2, which is the internal or the embedded. But let me say this, me for instance, I am not a fan of these two approaches. I don't like to go with the internal, and at the same time I don't like to go with the inline CSS. Okay, because when you do this, it makes your code messy. There are sometimes it is very crucial and very important to go by these techniques, but there are most of the time it is not recommended. It will make a code, it will make it hard to read. Let me say hard to read, unreadable. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to go by the last approach, or the last type, which is the external CSS. The external CSS, it means that you have your CSS in a different file. Okay, your CSS is on a different file. It's not part of the HTML. Okay, when I say I'm talking, you will not understand them. So let's see them in action. Okay, so we open our Explorer, where our project file is. We click on the add new file to create a new file. Let's call it style.css. Okay, style.css. Now this is the CSS file. We have now created a new CSS file. Okay, so just like the internal one, we just copy. Let's copy this one. Let's copy this one and paste them here. Okay, we copy it and paste it here. But at the moment, I hope you have understood it. As for me, I don't need this. I'll delete them, but you can copy them somewhere or save them somewhere, because I know that probably you will need them, or you will use them. Okay, yes, so I'm going to delete everything because I like the external CSS, so that is where I am going to focus for now. As for the other ones, we are done. Okay, we are done, so that's it. Okay, so this is what we have done. We have created another CSS, another file called style.css, which will contain the set of the CSS files that we will be working with. Okay, and this is the file. Inside the file, we have our selector selecting the what? Our file is selecting the P. Okay, the paragraph. Yeah, we have our selector, and this is the selector. The P that you are seeing here is the selector. Okay, see, the main reason why I am repeating myself is so that you will get it. Okay, I can move on fast, but I want you to get the concept very well. So the P is the selector. Okay, when we hover the mouse over the P, you see selector popping up. Okay, the intelligence of the Visual Studio is telling us that this is selector. Okay, and then our curly braces will come here. We have the color, which is the property, and then the brown is what? The value. Okay, immediately after the property color, there is a colon. If you refuse to bring this colon, error will occur. Okay, you see, it has given us some red wavy underline, telling us that there's something wrong. Let me bring it back. Very good. So now that I've introduced our colon back, you see that that wavy underline is gone. Okay, and then immediately after it, after the value, we introduce the semicolon. Okay, so the semicolon, if you delete the semicolon to, error is going to happen. Like it's going to bring an error. The code compiler would think that the color, this one, is together with this one. This is how the code is. This is how the browser is going to see it if you refuse or forget to bring the semicolon. It will think that everything is straightforward like this, to see them to be the same. Okay, but the moment you introduce your semicolon, it will now understand that, okay, this is the ending part of it, and it's starting a new property and a value also here. Okay, so that's a quick reminder, don't forget to bring them. All right, now we have selected a P, and also we have given it the properties and everything. Let us go to the browser and look at the amazing changes. Okay, the amazing changes. Refresh. Wow, we have done everything as it should, but I think it's not working. Okay, and it will not work. Reason why it will not work is the HTML is on a different file, and then the CSS is also on a different file. So we need to find a way. Okay, we need to find a way to tell the HTML that, hey HTML, your other part, your styling aspect is on a different file, so locate that one so that it become available, so that you can use that file as well. Okay, this is what we are about to do now, so take close attention and look at it. If you do it this way, it will not work. When I started learning CSS, that was most of the challenges that I was facing. Okay, yes, that is how it is. The files are separate. We need to link them together so that this one will get to know this one too will get to know other one. All right, okay, so how we link CSS to HTML is very simple. You just come to the head section of your HTML document. You see, the last time in our previous HTML video, I said that the head section contains information about the site, and also is where we link several other pages, and other styling and script tags and script files as well. So we will come here, and then we will introduce the link tag. We have a tag called link. Okay, and this link will take another attribute called rel. Okay, rel. All right, rel. And then and the meaning of the rel is relationship, a short form for relationship. It should always be rel short. Don't type full word like relationship. No, make it rel. And the rel defines the kind of relationship that the HTML is going to have with this particular file that we have linked. Okay, so in this case, it's all about styling, it's CSS. That is why the relationship, the rel, is style sheet. Okay, and here is where we are going to locate the file, where we are going to link the particular file that we want to call in the HTML. So that's star.css. okay, let me explain something. If you see this dot and slash, it means that go to the current directory. And so on our page, you see the current directory is where the HTML is. This place is the current directory. So if you go there, locate style.css. okay, so that's what we have just done here. All right, so now we have linked the CSS file to the HTML document. Let us test to see if indeed this style sheet will be able to locate this P and give it the style that we have declared, we have specified here. All right, let's refresh. Boom, that's very, very, very good. Okay, that's very, very nice. So this is how you get to link your files together in CSS and then HTML CSS. Okay, if you do them without linking them, you will not see anything. If you make any mistake and give it a wrong file name like star8, you see I don't have any star8 here, so this is actually a wrong file. Okay, when we go to the browser and refresh, it will not come. Most of the time, some people come and they give a lot of problems like, my style sheet is not working, I have done everything that it should, but it's not working. No, when that happens, before you can debug it, first you need to make sure you check the name of the file that you are linking. Okay, so the name of the file that we are linking is style, it's not style 8. All right, so once the name is equal to what we have here, then everything should work. One other thing, or one other hack that I can give you is you move the mouse, you hover the mouse over the file and you press Control on Windows. If you are using Mac, you press on the Command key on the keyboard. If it's Windows, you press the Control on the keyboard and then you right click it. When you right click it, it will automatically take you to the file. So this is telling us that indeed the file really exists. So for instance, if I had closed this one and I click on the Control and then click on it, you see it has opened it for me. All right, so this is something small that you can use so that when you have some issues, some failing, things are not working the same, like the way you want in your code, these are some of the things that you can use so that you sort of debug it yourself, or you find where the error is coming from. Okay, if the file was to be, if this one was to be the file 8, when you click on it, it will prompt you to create a new one. Okay, telling you that this one does not exist. All right, okay, so this is something small about the introduction to HTML, CSS, and the types of CSS we have. We have the inline, we have the embedded or the internal, and also we have the external. Now most of the courses and most of the projects online and videos that you will be watching, you'll see them using external CSS. Okay, because as a web developer, you need to know how to organize your files. You need to know how you manage your files and make a neat work. Okay, make it neat. Make each and every file sit on a separate place, so that in case you want to change some things or you want to manipulate your document, you can find your way out easily with them. Okay, if you mix things up, make them cluster, it's really going to affect you in debugging your code as well. So this is something small that I want to share with you in this lecture, and we will meet in the next lecture. But I will ask you to kindly subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed. Try and give us your comment. Let us know how you feel about this lecture, and if also I made a mistake, I will be glad for you to point it out to me, because we are also and always learning. Thank you so much, and see you in the next lecture.